Good morning everyone, and g'day from wherever you're watching. We've just finished up another session of networking in nature down here at the Botanic Gardens in Sydney, and I'm here with Jürgen Schmechel, who led the walk with us this morning, sharing some of his story and also some of his very interesting work in relationship mentoring. And it was such a great session. First one of the year, no rain, so we're off to a better start than we did last year. And all kinds of people showed up this morning. A lot of them were attracted by Jürgen's topic and conversation on relationships, which we'll just do a quick recap of here. So Jürgen, thank you firstly.
Yeah, thank you, John. Thanks for having me. I loved every minute. So it was a fantastic morning. Yeah, the cicadas are applauding. So yeah, great morning. Thank you.
And you're a regular of the group, so thank you. We always love you participating and sharing, but to actually hear more about what you work on and how you help others in the world this morning was awesome. So you've got this book here, just so everyone can see why money is more important than sex. And I mean, it's quite a striking title, and it's a conversation starter.
Correct.
And it was the first time that we cracked open this whole concept of personal and intimate relationships at Networking in Nature. So Jürgen, if you just want to provide a brief recap, the journey you took us on this morning and even some of the tips that you left us with.
Okay. So I started with a light-hearted theme, what kind of question not to ask in a relationship. And so I was kind of expecting someone would say, does my bum look big in this? That didn't come up, but there were other nice conversation starters. And that gave me then the opportunity to share my story, how my whole work around relationships came about. From there, we went on and said, when actually does commitment start? Because that is a really interesting question. Does it start with the first kiss, with the first night you spend together, or the moment you move together, or the moment you have shared bank accounts, to bring back the topic to why money is more important than sex? So, and there's no right or wrong answer. And that was, I think, also a theme this morning, that we said to the whole group, just enjoy the conversations and don't judge, because in this complex topic of relationships, there is no absolute right and there's no absolute wrong. So from there, we had the next question, what are the big roadblocks around a relationship? And funnily enough, the one which always is overlooked came up first, which is when you move together. And that's totally overlooked in relationships, because out of this longing, the next Friday, the next weekend, we can see each other, this boredom sets in. I see you tonight, darling. And the routine then sets in, where the tension, which you need for good sex, the tension is missing, and the boredom turns then into not speaking or not talking, and from there it can be easily go downhill. So I left the group with 5 tips, which I think are the 5 essentials for a lasting relationship. The first one is keep working, because it's so rewarding to have praise from other people, from your customers, from your colleagues, and actually earn some money. And on that topic of money is the second tip, which is have separate bank accounts, meaning you have 3 bank accounts, one for each of the partners, and one for the common expenses. Not because you're not trusting the other person, but because it feels so good to have 10 grand on an account just to spend by yourself. The third tip is to have regular active appointments. What I call an active appointment is put something into your diary, instead of see you tonight, darling, that you actually go out and do something together. Maybe leave the phone at home and talk about everything. And you only can achieve this if there's not cluttering around in the kitchen and not the television going off in the background. And the fourth tip would be to surprise your partner. Once a year, not telling where it's going, just invite them to come along, block the time and do something surprising, because you will be surprised how long this memory will last through your lifetime. And the fifth tip is a funny one, which came out of my survey, where I've interviewed over 3,500 people filled in the survey. And there's one linchpin question: how often do you kiss your partner? Because that's, again, totally overlooked. Kissing is so much more intimate than sex. because it involves all 5 senses. And remember Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman? Her friend says to her, don't kiss him, because that's where the commitment starts. So we're going full circle, and I've rambled on along here, but I'm so passionate about relationships, because what I see time and time and time again is that the children are the suffering. And it doesn't matter whether the children are 2 years old, 12 years old, or 22 years old. The moment the parents decide to split ways, you pull a rug literally under the kids' feet, because an anchor, a constant in their life, is taken away from them. And oftentimes, for nitty-gritty reasons, we fall out with each other instead of talking, concentrating, and adhering to some of the tips I'm sharing in my book, Why Money is More Important Than Sex. They appreciate it's a provocative title, but it's also true. Just imagine 3 months without sex. Not nice. But 3 months without money, it's not possible. So here you have it. That's one of the many reasons why money is more important than sex.
I love it. I just love how different every month is here at Networking in Nature. And I think it's absolutely critical to walking through life and through business. Your personal relationships, your intimate relationships underpin so much of who you are and how you're able to show up in the world, and oftentimes support you in being able to be the best version of yourself to everyone else. So Jürgen, I think this, and for everyone, this was a really important conversation to have. Thanks for giving us the space and opportunity to have it. And yeah, thank you so much. We can't wait to see you next month, and thanks for being a part of the community.
Thank you.